welcome to another installment of the Fragments of Silicon Reviews. Just a bit of a programming note before we go forward. I have been dealing with some mild arm pain the past few weeks. Been on and off, some days better than others. But long and short of it is there might be some repetitive stress injury going on here. Either like at the funny bone, or maybe it's something to do with my neck. I don't know. It's something I'll bring up to the doctor, my doctor, when I see him on the 15th. But long and short is, if I have to not play video games under doctor's orders for a while in order to, rest the muscles or the nerves or whatever needs to be done there, the reviews will go on hiatus, as I'll be medically unable to do game reviews, and I don't feel good about just having my colleagues here do all the work. Granted, Gollix isn't here to hear this right now, but this is more a in case of policy than anything else right now. Don't want to alarm anyone who might be listening. It's just, been feeling a lot of new aches and pains, and it's very scary. I'm sure, Petty, you can sympathize.
Indeed.
Anyway, with that in mind, we've got 4 reviews up this week. Yeah, it's all reviews this week. Sometimes I got to remember, okay, is it reviews, or is it reviews and impressions? Now it's all reviews. First game up is Blade Assault. Blade Assault is a 2D action roguelike platformer with beautiful pixel art set in a desolate sci-fi world. Fight against the corrupt military of Esperanza as part of the resistance force of the Undercity. Bring the corrupt to justice by becoming stronger and fighting alongside your trusty comrades. So I suppose this is a particular combination of roguelike that I haven't seen before, in that it's a not just a action platformer. I have seen that. Sundred comes to mind, but this is a high octane. Think if this were trying to ape a 3D game, it'd be in the vein of like Bayonetta or Devil May Cry, which is certainly a interesting combination, if nothing else. I'm like, I suppose I'm kind of dancing around the issue. It's a combination I don't think worked all that well, or rather, okay. Basic bottom line, my problem here is this took hard thing A and hard thing B and made hard thing C, and didn't make it all that enjoyable. But as far as for the basics, as far as the actual combat goes, that all works fine. It's fluid, it's dynamic, it's everything you would want from a, I don't know, I think we call them spectacle fighters, or very fast action. And I know this game calls itself a platformer. It's really more about the combat. Like, the platforming is very perfunctory at best. Sure, you're jumping and there are platforms, but when I think of a platform game, an actual platformer, I think, jumping and platforming is actually part of the challenge. It's like how Metroidvania, those are called, you might see the term platformer, but you'll more often see the term side-scroller. Or, this is why the term Metroidvania is used instead of platformer. Because platforming isn't usually jumping from platform to platform isn't really the goal. This may sound like splitting hairs, but I really do think these things matter. But anyway, yeah. So the combat can be, your opening weapon is, of all things, an electric chainsaw. Like, and you've got basic moves. You can charge up your weapon. The closest proximate weapons that you can unlock, like your first two unlocks, are going to be a sword, like a laser sword, and a plasma rifle. And I will say I did not enjoy those weapons nearly as much as the chainsaw, because the sword, while it hit harder, it had the trade-off of hitting a lot slower. And with a game like this, I really don't like having slower weapons. And the gun, just wasn't as was once again not as fun as using the chainsaw. There are probably other weapons. I'll be honest, I didn't get too far in this game. I think I got midway through the second chapter for this run. That's kind of the problem I had with this game. Since it's playing under roguelike rules, it's playing under roguelike rules. So all of your upgrades, all of your progress, all of your everything resets. I guess technically it's a roguelite, but even the light stuff, like all of your stuff is going away. And it's a really hard game. And it honestly doesn't have enough roguelike elements for my liking. That is to say, its randomization was pretty poor. As in, like, it didn't even have the courtesy of shuffling out the first chapter boss, which, spoiler alert, you're going to be fighting quite a lot. So the game fell into the roguelike trap of becoming very repetitious very quickly. And, that was a shame, because otherwise I really would have liked this game. Because, the combat, the graphics, the sound, the overall aesthetic is all really good. It's all really well put together, and it feels like the game feels excellent. It's just putting in the roguelike box, I feel really limited it, because this is not the kind of game I really want to be playing the same level over and over again. Because I'm sorry, you didn't mix that's kind of one of the elements that makes a roguelike work, or a roguelite, or makes the rogue thing work. You have enough variance to keep things fresh for every playthrough, potentially. Now, it's like roguelikes are going to hit a certain level of repetition no matter what you do. It's just, for lack of a better term, the name of the game. But, and here's the thing. I have played a lot of fucking roguelikes for this show over the years. This isn't like, and it comes down to, this is actually a good game, a good solid game, but I think it's a pretty poor roguelike. And considering that's a huge selling feature, that reflects pretty poorly on the game as well. I'm like, and like other roguelike elements, you will find various boxes that you can unlock with various currencies. There's more than one. And, it'll upgrade your strength, your critical hit, maybe change your sub-weapon, give you an elemental effect, maybe you move slightly faster, all that kind of stuff. But once again, all that stuff will go away as, and it meshed well with the gameplay. And that's what makes this extra frustrating. Like, the random bits portion of the roguelike works for Blade Assault. But it's just that resetting down to 0 did not work here. And when that is unfortunate. Now, I will say that if you do get to the next chapter, you are able to at least suspend your progress. That was a problem I had with sort of the Necromancer that we reviewed not too long ago. It's like, oh, you didn't even have a suspend feature. Here's the thing. If I have shit to do, I have shit to do. And, having permadeath is one thing, but attaching that to, oh, you can't even suspend your system, it's not 1982 anymore. You don't have to follow Rogue that closely. Or whatever. Whatever would cause that. So this game didn't fall into that trap. But, once again, I wish I had more to say. Like, I wish I had gotten to the other characters. But this game is very difficult, if I haven't made that clear. So, and, it's not a game I felt like, metaphorically bashing my head against the wall to get good, so to speak. Or rather, it's not just a matter of getting good, it's, keeping good. And, playing through all the same shit over and over again. It's the curse of the roguelike. So ultimately, the game clocks in at $17.99. Do I think that's a worthwhile price? I have to ultimately say no. I have to ultimately give this a subpar rating, because I think the roguelike elements just overpower any positive things this game has going for it. It's on the edge, though. I'd say I would be giving this a 4.5 out of 10 on the arbitrary scale of arbitration. But that's not because I find this game average, or because here's the thing. If this game had linear progression or something like that, I would say, solid, this would be a very solid game, maybe even exceptional. But because I'm playing, I'm going through repetitive motions, very difficult, even at the beginning, repetitive motions at that, I did not feel that this game is worth the asking price. All right, Petty, any questions, comments, or concerns?
No, I think I'm good.
All right, so that'll about do it here. Be sure to tune in after the break, as Petty will be reviewing Checkered Flag.